I'm in my 40s and I've read a banned Japanese children's book. Not to make a statement nor stir controversy, but to have something simple to practice reading in Japanese. The book is Chibi Kuro Sanbo, or Little Black Sambo in English. And yeah, it's been banned from some schools in the US and for a time in Japan. But here's the wild part. From a Japanese learner's perspective, it's actually pretty useful beginner's read. So what is the issue? Well, the original story was written in English back in 1890s about an Indian boy and his family, but because it was so successful, a lot of bootleg versions were made. So hitting US brought the predictable outcome: racist illustrations, stereotyping the black people. These illustrations carried over when it was brought to Japan in the 1950s. Strike one. Then there is the name, of course, Chibi Kuro Sanbo, literally a little black sambo. And that's kind of strike two. And inside the book, the phrase Kuroi Otoko shows up twice. Once, just a description, but these days it's a loaded phrase in Japan. That's definitely a strike three. So yeah, it's not hard to see why this book hasn't exactly aged well. Now, why would I read this at all? I'm 15 months into learn Japanese and I do immersion daily. Anime, dramas, podcasts, books, manga, the whole lot. My weakness? Reading. So I've committed to getting better at it. And I'm always on the hunt for material that would move me in the right direction, even if it means starting with the children's books. Plus, I'm all up for free resources, and this one, well, we already had this one at home. My partner read it when she was little. So it seemed perfect, and in many ways, it was. But let's talk readability, shall we? With only 11 kanji. All of them having furigana. No real katakana to speak of. I mean, there is katakana, but it's written in hiragana, right? And the hiragana has apostrophes right next to it, so to denote that it's a loan word, that it should be katakana, it's a bit weird, yeah, but not really a stumbling block in any way, shape, or form. The font is very, very easy to read. It's large, first of all, and every single word is separated from another word. So if you've encountered Japanese text before, you know that sometimes it can just seem like a wall. Well, this one definitely caters to children, and it's very, very digestible, which kind of brings me to pictures in the book. While they're not as, let's say, descriptive as pictures in manga, what you do get, though, is something that lets you get the gist of the story. If you just look at the pictures, you'll get what's going on, more or less. So they definitely assist, if not as much as the manga would. And, of course, my understanding was between 80 and 90% of the book in terms of the words, but I've encountered a few sentences where I would get every single word, but still wouldn't kind of grasp the sentence. So, you know, knowing all the words doesn't exactly mean that you can get the gist of the meaning, does it? There are a few quirks. That hiragana instead of katakana thing might confuse total beginners. And there is one spread where a big onomatopoeia cuts across 2 pages diagonally, splitting the text. You have to start at the bottom right, then jump to the top, and finally read across to the left. But if you're willing to pause and figure it out, it's not a deal breaker. Quick side note, if you find these kind of reviews helpful, you can support what I'm doing over on Ko-fi. Links in description. So, should you read this? As a language learning tool and a historical relic, yeah, it's accessible, visual, and short. As a piece of modern children's media? Damn no. It's outdated, uncomfortable, and insensitive. But if you go in aware of the context and the pitfalls I've mentioned, it can still serve a purpose. Books like these are training wheels. You outgrow them fast, and that is fine. So, read it if you're ready, and then move on. If you want something beginner-friendly but less controversial, check out my Curious George review next. Så är det ja. Matane. Bye bye.